Super. Good morning, everyone. Hang on, you guys just had coffee, so let's try this again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, that's kind of the spirit I'm looking for, all right. So today we want to really walk you through a very special product launch for Talentsoft because it's our 10-year anniversary. 10 years of research and development that really accumulate in this day today. And what we want to look at in this summer 2017 product launch is just exactly as Alex said, how to design a talent journey. And that's what we'll get started at right now. So I'm, as an HR director, looking to set up a new business unit in China, and for that, I need someone to head up that new business unit. And I will start my journey today on HR analytics. Of course, as you know by now, hopefully all, the HR Analytics is our in-house developed tool, meaning that Talentsoft has access to all data within our solution. In addition, we try to come up with a unique user experience that you'll just see in just a second that will allow you to do all kind of analysis, insights, without having to ever call IT or a data specialist for you to find the right people in your organization, in this case, to set up this business unit. And we'll get started right now. I'll start on my Talentsoft, my HR digital platform that you all know by now, and which will, of course, allow me to have access to the entire range of HR processes that we cover with Talentsoft. And here I want to just simply click on Workforce Management, and I'll be able to do my analytics right from this dashboard. Again, this dashboard I was able to set up myself. I did not have any help from IT. I did not need anyone from data science to show me how to do it. And I can, of course, make these dashboards public or private, just as I wish to do. Now, in our story, I need to find the right person to open up that business unit. And I need to do that in 2017, of course, but because this is a short-term goal for us. So I'll go in 2017. And you can see here the graph is updated. And in the second one, what I see right away is that we have access in Talentsoft, because it's our own solution, to all of the data, meaning we even have access to those data sets that are incomplete. And what we can do is we can now go in and look and correct the data set right in the beginning. Let's go get on with the story, though. We'll go to the UK office, because that's where we need to find the right person for that job. And you can see I have another update that will allow me to filter on people who have actually requested a mobility wish, being geographical or a functional mobility. Here I need, of course, someone who wants to go to China. And if I, again, drill down on this data set, I have another graph which allows me to look at short and long-term mobility. Now, I said we need someone quickly because, of course, we're setting up this business unit in September. So let's go on short-term mobility. And what you can see is that all graphs are updated again. And on the first page, I now have that one person within my organization that will be able to move to China in the short term. And again, here the strength of analytics is that I can go from a very macro view, so I go from the top-line view of all the data down to the person behind the data. So if I just drill through this data set, you'll see I'll end up on the talent profile of Elodie Champagnat, who is seemingly the right person for me to set up that business unit. She's available to set up that business unit in China. Again, the strength here of analytics is that we have access to all this HR data within the system, and it's made so easy for you, for myself, to explore it at any time without having to call on a specialist to help me. In order to continue that journey, though, I'd actually like to be joined on stage by Elodie, who's with us today. So please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Hello, Justus. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Elodie. Elodie, we have a potential fantastic opportunity for you to open up our new business unit in China.
Wow.
I know, a surprise to me as well, but would you be willing to maybe take on that challenge?
Yes, Justus, of course, it sounds to be a great challenge for me to take up, and I think I have something singular that could help me to start there.
What would that be?
Actually, I speak Chinese.
Really? Well, let's check that for a second. Nage watsidu nihuisho hanyu.
Shia washude liolide.
I'm impressed. This is just wow.
So sorry, we are not going to go on in Chinese. I was just saying that my Chinese is fluent. But actually, Justus, I've never worked in China before. So do you think I could attend a training to be sure that I start with the right basics there about how to drive business in China?
Now, of course, and we at Talentsoft, of course, use our Talentsoft learning solution, which allows us to manage and create any number of content. And so I'm sure we'll have the right one for you available right at your fingertips.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Justus. Before going on and get connected to my Talentsoft, I really would like you to hear from one of our customers, Lacoste. Lacoste is a famous French clothing company with a community of 6,000 learners, and they are now been using our Talentsoft learning platform for more than 3 years. Please, let's listen to their testimony.
Lacoste is a global brand owned by a Swiss private family group called the WHOLESALE, spread over 120 countries with 10,000 employees from 40 different nationalities. We generate 1.9 billion euros turnover, coming from 1,500 boutiques, 30 online stores, and over 10,000 wholesale doors. So to summarize, we are a lifestyle brand with a very distinctive logo, the crocodile, a very iconic product, the polo, and a global distribution. In 2014, Lacoste launched its Retail Academy, whose mission is to develop retail training models around 3 major categories: the brand and the product, customer experience, and management. Our decision to choose Talentsoft LMS solution was motivated by several factors. The first one, of course, is the international experience, which is crucial for us. Then was the possibility to internalize the production of content and also to be able to amend ourselves this content, which is very important when you are working in the fashion industry. And finally, the very detailed tracking reports provided were a very, very good tool for us in order to monitor the rollout in each of our countries. So today we have around 40 models available in 12 languages. We train 4,000 people in year 1, and we will train in excess of 6,000 people this year. The main HR benefit we've noticed is an increase in our employee engagement, which was measured last year through an engagement survey conducted by the group on a global basis. We also managed to maintain people turnover rate below the average industry, which you know is very, very high in retail. Finally, our most important criteria is definitely customer experience, and we have significantly increased the Net Promoter Score, the famous NPS, and the mystery shopper results, which are a true reflection of customer satisfaction. We appreciated Talentsoft's innovative spirit with a solution which is constantly upgraded to provide a better learning experience. Going forward, our goal is to continue to optimize the use of the solution, for example, by further developing the social learning and further animating our global learners community, which is a top priority for us this year.
Thank you for this nice video. I'm now pleased to welcome on stage Isabelle Damour, Retail Academy Director at Lacoste. Good morning, Isabelle.
Good morning. Nice to see you before you go to China.
Thank you. Well, Isabelle, in the video, you talked about a dedicated learning time for your team in the stores. Can you walk us through this concept and the achievement you reached?
Yeah, of course. Because our retail staff are actually spending most of their time on the selling floor dealing with customers, we really had decided to set dedicated learning time during the week. Each employee will get 1 hour per week to actually complete the e-learning modules in the store back office, on the PC from the store, or on tablet. And each of the store manager is actually planning and organizing this training time based on the store planning. We usually give all the markets about 4 weeks to complete a module. It doesn't mean that after 4 weeks we actually close the access. It means that after 4 weeks we actually look at the results and make an analysis. And this is why the Talentsoft learning solution is very, very useful, because it provides us with reports which can be used centrally for me to look at a market or a country level, but also with a very detailed vision for each store manager to take action if the learning hasn't been completed. We found that this process has been very successful for us, because we reach a participation rate of over 80%, with various discrepancy. In Asia, it's way over 90%. They are very, very keen. And in Europe, sometimes you gotta drag them a little bit more, and they around 75%. Now, we actually set this 80% participation rate because in our industry, as I mentioned in the video, there's a very high level of turnover. So we feel that 80% is about achievable target. However, our quizzes score are much higher. It's about 98% completion, simply because we wanted our quizzes to remain accessible. We wanted our learners to continue to be engaged and motivated and not be discouraged because their score was too low.
Okay, great. Thank you, Isabelle. And something else that you mentioned in your video is that for next year, one of your priority is to leverage the social learning and to better engage your learners in the community. So why is it a priority for you?
Well, it is a priority right now because it's time. If I put things back into perspective, when the Retail Academy was created, we wanted to have a global training community. We train, like I said, over 6,000 people a year in 25 countries and 11 different languages. But the HQ team is only composed of 3 people, myself, and 2 truly amazing training managers. So we had to rely on a local training community to help us, because we couldn't just achieve it with the 3 of us. So basically, the idea with this Retail Academy community is to also gain visibility. We created a logo. We created a polo, because we're Lacoste. We had to have a Retail Academy polo, which was actually, to be a little bit more serious, to support a very, very strong initiative that we did, is to create the position of Retail Academy ambassadors within the group. And basically, there are store managers which we have appointed to be our internal trainers. After 1 year, we had about 30 of them. In year 2, we doubled the numbers, and today we have 75 people all over the world being our internal trainers, and the goal for our year end is over 90 internal trainers. So basically, we have to talk to these people. We have to talk to our trainers, and we have to talk to our trainees. We did launch a newsletter, which was great to actually bring information to them. However, it's not enough. And where Talentsoft learning solution will help us is to animate this community, creating a social bond. We want these people to talk to each other, not just to us. We want them to share best practice, to share tips, and to be able to celebrate also challenges and success.
Okay, thank you, Isabelle. Would you have something else you want to recommend or share with our HR community present today?
Yeah, actually, there are several things. The first one I would say is to really take a step-by-step approach. Basically, it was to know how to walk before we could run. Especially, we had to deal with retail environment and international environment. And the key to our rollout has been to involve IT very early on into the process, because we never had any issue with the solution or the content, but much more internally, because we were dealing with countries with various equipment and various connections. So basically, what we did is to involve them very, very early on. And also, I would recommend to pilot all the modules in actually the real rollout condition. It could be offline, online, on PC, on tablets. There's nothing worse for a learner to experience technical issues and to be slowed down by the process.
The other thing I would say is really to rely on Talentsoft international expertise. Like I mentioned in the video, this was actually one of the reasons we chose this solution. But it really helps you avoid the problems of going international, because thanks to their expertise, you have the do's and the don'ts, so that's really important. Another important aspect was really the customer service training program, which helped us really train my team on the LCMS, and also to benefit from the coaching. The coaching has been very good because it allows you to actually work on a real model, one that we are developing for the company, and getting the support and the help. And the last thing I would say is probably to use the functionalities of the LMS a little bit deeper. What we did in the first 3 years is really to focus on delivering content and focusing on rolling out. We were really obsessed with that. So we didn't really take time to actually discover all the functionalities that the LMS was giving us. But every time we did, we found there was a solution to our problem. So that's probably my last advice.
Okay, thank you very much, Isabelle.
Thank you.
So, back to our scenario. I now want to continue my journey on my Talentsoft, which is fully personalized and adapted to my context. In my training widget, I have a view on all the learning activities. It can be, of course, virtual classrooms, in-person trainings, as well as e-learning modules. And the one Justus has signed me up to is available right there. In one click, the widget extends to give me an overview on all the learning units that are part of my training path. So let's get started with the e-learning module. On the LMS platform, best practices are embedded to guide me through the training program with, for example, some instructions and also a quick introduction to give me the objective I have to reach with this course. And the course starts with some dynamic cards. And right after, I'm immersed in a real-life situation with a video. And of course here, this is an example only, as each of you can define the right content in the appropriate format to fit your training strategy and your corporate culture. At the end of the course, I'm asked to complete a quick assessment to check my knowledge. And here, for example, I have to complete some statements about Chinese interpersonal behaviors. And what I want to remind you here is that Talentsoft Learning is not only a platform to spread content, as you've seen right now, but also a platform where you create the content, which makes it the only solution on the market today that combines training management, digital learning, and learning content management, as well as user-generated content. At the end of the course, HR can also define additional content that is pushed to me as a learner. And here, for example, I can download a free pass to participate in a conference about business in China, which is great to enhance what I've just learned in the e-learning module. And I'm done with my e-learning. And what I want to highlight now is that Talentsoft Learning is not only a platform to acquire knowledge, but also to share the content and to share knowledge with the community. First of all, I want to share with Justus how useful was the course for me and how useful it can be for the other members of his team, for example. And with the community, I can also enrich my knowledge. I can access conversations, content in different formats. I can view the feeds, I can post a comment, like a post, and I can then myself share content or suggest a learner to follow the same course as I did, for example. So what you've seen today with Talentsoft Learning is that it's a real help and a great support for your training department. You can create your own content. You can choose the appropriate format to fit your training needs. And of course, with the learning community, you can better engage your learners and make them interact at any time. So Justus, I think I'm ready for my new role in China.
It does really sound like it, so thank you very much, Elodie. And it's now important not only to track the learning progress, but also, of course, measure how that learning progress measures up against her performance. And performance management today is, of course, all about creating an ongoing conversation throughout the year, not only once or twice in the traditional performance review campaign, but that you're able to get feedback, push information back and forth between employees and manager, and you as HR facilitate that conversation, that ongoing conversation throughout the year. And that's what we want to do now with performance management. So I'll go into her talent profile. As we said before, Elodie's talent profile is her, if you will, one-stop shop for all the information about her as an employee in one single page. Now what I can do is I'll go onto the Objectives tab, and I can see here behind me that I have the different objectives that we've set for Elodie throughout the year. What I want to do now is zoom on the objective that is related to international competition and her knowledge that she just acquired. I can see the entire parameters of this objective, and then go into the timeline to figure out how that objective has evolved over the last months. Now, I want to, of course, say that I believe that she's now ready for her next challenge, and go into the slider here and simply drag and drop her performance measurement to the amount that I feel is appropriate now. Let's say she's 100% ready to go, and I'll add a comment, of course, to track why I gave her 100% in the system. And it's important to note that this objective is not static, it's evolving. So I, as a manager, I, as HR, can adapt that throughout the year. What we can also do is open up in our company, employees, HR, anyone we want, to social feedback, meaning we can integrate everyone in our ecosystem into this feedback loop. So here we could have social feedback based on a project that Elodie worked on with partners outside her organization that gave feedback and that is now integrated as part of her performance review. It's important to note that, of course, this can be part of the traditional performance review cycle. We're not saying this doesn't work anymore, but we have to go beyond that. We have to allow managers in HR to create that ongoing conversation throughout their ecosystem and facilitate, enable managers to create a unique experience by having an ongoing conversation between employee and manager. And I think we're ready to now say that Elodie is skilled up. She's ready to take on her new challenge in China. But that means that I have to find a replacement for her, of course. And for that, I want to leverage the power of the crowd, the power of my trust network. And that I will do by using Hello Talent. But before we show you everything that is new and good with Hello Talent, I'd like us to take a moment to hear from one of our dear friends who made it all the way from Tel Aviv today, and who told me just before that she's extremely nervous. So please give her a warm round of applause to Vered Uziel of Jacada. So thank you very much, Vered. No reason, you're amongst friends, okay?
I'm nervous.
So briefly, Jacada is not yet a household name. Could you maybe tell us what you guys do?
So Jacada is a global software company that provides software solutions for customer experience for over 25 years. Lately, in the past few years, we're focusing on digital transformation. In particular, we help enterprises like telcos, finance, retails, and more to boost their self-service, whether on the website, mobile side, and on IVR. And we're considered to be the market leaders in a solution called Visual IVR. By providing that, we help enterprises to reduce call volume, to reduce operational cost, and increase customer satisfaction, loyalty, and retention.
Thank you, Vered. You have a very decentralized recruiting process at Jacada. What were the major challenges, or what are maybe still the major challenges for you today?
So today we have less challenges because we work with Hello Talent, but we work in 3 different locations. We work, headquarters is in the US. We have operation in EMEA and R&D in Israel, in Herzliya, actually. Working with managers, with time differences, with no one place for gathering the information was really hard. We used to work we used to communicate with emails, Skype, all kind of technical tools. You need to remember I'm working with the technical guys. They don't communicate, they just, do that all the time.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah.
No.
So, and then we met Hello Talent. So now all the information is in one place. I don't need to use any more Excels or to look for the information in my emails. I have all the data, all the candidate journey in one place, their profiles, their resume. Sorry. We communicate through the system, all the tracking, interview summaries, grading, rating, and comments are in one place. It's visible to all the managers. The process is transparent. I don't need to deal with the time differences. So it's kind of a self-service like Jacada provides. So
It's a match made in heaven, right?
yeah, actually, for me, it's an HR consumer experience, and my consumers are managers. So definitely, my manager is happy.
Well, that's very, and we'll get to that point in just a moment. Now, sourcing is still relatively new. Can you maybe explain why your company made it a priority in your HR processes?
Yeah, well, talented people is always hard to find, and especially in high-tech environment, especially in a very small place like Israel. We need to be all the time creative and innovative, and basically we're looking for the non-job seekers, for those who are happy in their workplace, and those that I will never get from recruiting company. So for that, we're using different of technical tools, and actually this is one of my favorite features in Hello Talent, because in just a push of a button, I can get similar profiles to candidates that I prefer. It's very intuitive, very easy. So my team, we don't rely on recruitment companies, and we're doing a lot of sourcing. We can approach those candidates with a personalized message. We can pitch about Jacada, and this is really helpful.
Very cool. Now, you mentioned it already, your managers. How did your CEO react when you started using it?
He's happy, so I'm happy.
And we all heard that it's very important that the CEO is happy and included.
Happy, yeah. All the recruitment efforts across the board globally are visible, transparent. He can create his own reporting whenever he wants. He's located in the US, in Atlanta, so he can do that by himself. He don't need me. He doesn't need me. to do so. It saves us time on our one-on-one. I don't need to talk about, I have this candidate and that candidate. He comes ready. So I think it's very helpful.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Verray. Thank you very much for coming. We just heard from Red directly, the power of Hello Talent lies in this very collaborative approach to sourcing people, in this activation of your networks in order to find talents that are not necessarily looking for a job at the moment. And this is what we have come up with at Hello Talent to make your life even easier, our new Hello Talent mobile application. So today, all I find on my telephone, all information that I usually would have on my desktop of Hello Talent in my mobile device. So, and as soon as my screen is ready, there we go. You can see here I have this mobile experience just like Hello Talent. I have the different talent pools that I can access. In this case, of course, I need to look at the operations role that Elodie is going to vacate here in the UK. And then I can see the different profiles. I have all the information about them, of course, behind each one of them. I can even go through the different workflow steps right here. So really, I'm able to work anytime, anywhere on my mobile device if I choose so. But we talked about this being a collaborative approach. So if we can have the lights up, please. And now everyone's going to get nervous. Who am I going to call on to help me find a new talent? So and I see here that Christoph, I'm very surprised that it's you. Christoph, well, we work together, so maybe you know someone who is ready and really a good fit for this role. So maybe you can push them into my talent pool. And there we go. We heard the famous Bing that there's something new here. So if I update my talent pools, I now see there's a new person added to the operations director pool. I can see here Aaron has been added. I have all the information about Aaron in that profile right here. I have even tags that Christoph was able to add that he, for example, speaks English, which is great news, that he's an operations manager. All this information is now available in Hello Talent on my mobile application. Now, and I could go on from there, but again, it's about using my network, using the people that can help me find the right person. So Elodie, maybe you can help me qualify these candidates, because obviously you had the job before, so no one's better placed to find your replacement than yourself, actually.
Yes, of course, I can help here, Justus. But just before starting the screening phase for you, I really would like to share a new profile, because I received recently a new resume that could really fit and match my current position. Let me show you how easy it is to create a new profile in Hello Talent. Actually, I just have to drag and drop the profile, and that's it.
That's it?
Yes, that's it. Else? Because with Hello Talent, the profile is created automatically, and the key information is automatically retrieved within Hello Talent. And that's not all. There is also the social finder. Thanks to the social finder, all the information available everywhere on the web is gathered in Hello Talent. It can be information from the social networks, from job boards, but from everywhere. It can be an article or even a book that the candidate has written. And for me, as an hiring manager, it's a way of having better information to have a richer conversation with the candidate when I have the interview with him.
Fantastic.
Yes, that's very interesting for me. And Justus, now I can start the screening phase, and I think that here we can save a bit of time with a video interview.
That's great news. So when speaking about video interviews, I know that last year in this venue, at this occasion, we spoke about creating a marketplace with an association called Le Laberage. Is this part of it?
Yes, absolutely, Justus. Thanks to our partnership with Le Laberage, Hello Talent offers a standard integration with Le Laberage marketplace. So here, are some partners of Le Lab RH with whom we already work to make this integration happen. And these are the first solutions that will be integrated in Hello Talent so that each of you can consume their services in one place, Hello Talent, without the need of any technical and IT projects.
Fantastic. So can we try this?
Yeah, sure. Let me show you how it works with Visio Talent, for example. If we go back to Hello Talent and have a look to Alison's profile, Visio Talent is available here so that I can plan the interview with her. And once she has recorded her interview, I can access right in Hello Talent the recording of her video. So now, Justus, actually I have screened and pre-qualified a set of candidates so that you may start the regular recruiting process with them.
Perfect, and let's get started with that. Thank you very much, Elodie. What's important is you saw how easy it was for us to interact and go onto this one single platform, use third-party applications in order to find the right candidates throughout our networks. Then it's the people that you trust, that you trust most, will push you the most interesting profiles for you. Now, of course, we have to go on with the recruiting process now to continue our talent journey. And we can look now at Talentsoft recruiting for this recruiting process. And here, what we've come up with is best practice indicators, HR analytics indicators now embedded within the solution. We are also, of course, working to further improve our user experience. And you can see here that I can adapt the dashboards that I have on my homepage, of course, to the way that I'm working with it. I can also find just below that I have access to the different profiles that are sent with Hello Talent to Talentsoft Recruiting. But let's focus for a moment again on the power of data on analytics. Now I can have here these best practice indicators pushed by Talentsoft that show me the key data that I need in order to run my successful recruiting operation. Or I could go again into my dashboards. And here again, I have a set of dashboards that I was able to create myself. And I can, again, make them public or private as I need them to be. Again, here we need to find talents for China. So what we'll do is, again, I'll focus on 2017. And you can right away see in the next graph that it's all about the user experience here again. We have a world map that with a simple interface allows you to see where those candidates would like to work. So in order to find people who want to work in China, all I have to do is click on China. And that's what I'll do now. Now I have in the next graph those 3 people that want to work for our new business unit in China. Now again here I can go from this very macro data view and drill through to the 3 people that are actually concerned. And I have here, without leaving Talentsoft Recruiting again, all access to all these candidates in one page. And if we talk, for example, about challenges that some of our German customers have, in terms of document management and document storage when it comes to the recruiting process, we have the great feature of the document reader available here that allows us to leaf through any number of CVs, resumes in that case, certificates, diplomas, anything that a candidate needs to send as part of their recruiting process is available, and I can look through them without ever leaving the application. Now, of course, the story doesn't stop here because I now can continue the hiring process by simply choosing those 3 candidates and delegating them to the hiring manager. And in this case, of course, the hiring manager being Elodie, all I have to do is send them to her that she can continue this process. And here, Talentsoft Recruiting is getting stronger because it employs the power of analytics natively embedded now within our solution. And it's just fantastic news for all those recruiters out there. Great, I love recruiters out there. Very good. But the story doesn't end here because we have one more thing to do. That's continue the administrative process of this new opening of a business unit in China. And for that, I'm very excited to be able to use our new Talentsoft Hub our all-new core HR and workforce management solution. We have completely developed this from the ground up, and this solution will allow you to use Talentsoft for all HR data as a master, a primary system, a slave or replicant system, or in a hybrid mode, meaning we can be master on some data and slave on a very granular level on others, or inverse. So extremely flexible in the way it's built. In addition, and you'll see this in just a moment, we have tried to come up with a unique user experience that is extremely easy for managers and HR and employees to use the self-service of our core HR solution. So let's take a look at what it looks like right now. So I'll go into my core HR. I can see here I have access to the different data repositories. And here I need to add a new one. So I'll add Talentsoft China. And not only do I need to add a new data repository, I also need to add it in the future, because as you remember, I need to open up that business unit on the 1st of September. And that's what I'll do now. I'll also include, of course, the manager, which will be, in this case, Elodie, who will head up that business unit on the 1st of September. And once I've created that, I also need to staff that new unit. So all I have to do is go into the UK data set. I have access to all the different employees here. And important to note is we just went through an entire process of internal mobility and trying to move people to the right place. I could even just filter on the interface, and the system automatically chooses those people that would be willing to move to China now. So I'll select those that I know are the right ones for the job, the right ones that we've selected, and in one click, I just move them to the new business unit by, of course, selecting the date, again, it being a future date on the 1st of September. Now that I'm done with creating actually a new business unit, I still need to take care of the people behind it. In this case, I'll take a focus on Elodie, because I'm sure there are still some administrative aspects that I have to take care of here. And when we land on her profile, her employee file within our core HR solution, I can again see that I have access to the entire wealth of information of Talentsoft. I have access to her talent profile. I have even access to her applicant profile. I have all the data that's aggregated within Talentsoft is here available in this interface. Now, what I want to do now is, as HR, I want to first personalize the solution a bit to my use of Talentsoft Hub. So all I have to do is drag and drop one of the data sets that I want to work on, for example, banking information, and that's it. If I want to now see, and you saw when you saw the page on the first one, there's a timeline available with different colored bricks. What's very strong here to notice, I need to have a certain traceability and information sharing that the system pushes me. So if I wanted to change the color, for example, of banking information, it's not only that it looks nice, it's much more than that. It allows me to pinpoint exactly the time when that change was made within the system. So you can see here in blue right now, I could zoom in to that change made either in 2009 or 14. But the timeline goes even further than that. Remember, we spoke about an event in the future. So now we can go into the future. We can travel towards the future to the 1st of September, and we can see that actually someone has already made a change in the solution. When I click on this change, I can see what was changed, of course. And here I see that Elodie already updated her information. This data set is, of course, completely adapted to the region it pertains to. In this case, being China, of course, as you can see, the postal code is 6 instead of the European 5 numbers. I could even highlight the differences that were made to this data set by simply clicking on Show Differences, and it will allow me, again, to see what was actually changed in the data. But I'm not done yet, so I have to now make sure that Elodie can actually start working on the 1st of September. And so for that, I'll take a look at, for example, the organization and make sure that her new work address is already within the system. It's not yet, so I'll add, it's the Shanghai office she'll be based out of, so I'll add Shanghai. And again, here is a very strong point of Talentsoft Hub. The system alerts me that I need to make a further change, and that being her contract. Because, of course, Elodie needs to be eligible. She needs to be legally allowed to start working in China. And for that, she's not ready yet. So all I have to do is create an addendum to her contract, and we can give it to her, and that's it. Everything within one single application, everything available within Talentsoft Hub. A fantastic news for all of you in HR out there. Again, the reminder is that we're able to use this in a master-slave or hybrid mode. We're able to do this on a very granular level as a hybrid system. And you could see here how easy it was for me, for Elodie, for anyone to change information and track those changes, of course, within the system. So Elodie, I think we're ready to send you off on your new mission to open up Talentsoft China now, aren't we?
Yes, I think so. Actually, I improved my skills thanks to a highly relevant content and a great collaborative learner community.
Yeah, and this collaborative aspect, we saw how fantastic it works for our sourcing and finding those replacements for people who leave or move within the organization.
Yes, and this hiring process that has been facilitated thanks to Talentsoft Hub and its interface unique on the market.
User experience is a keyword, is that unique user experience you can find within all of our tools now. So it's available throughout our solution, and of course, with the hindsight being in mind, keeping in mind that we want to make it as easy for you as possible to work with Talentsoft. Elodie, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much,
Please
Justus. Thank
join
you,
me in
everyone.
giving a warm round of applause to Elodie.